Kani dia bumfumpa na jena jibasa makafo ya kenkane ede amawo Cars Estates Ghana Limited yansa sekroji ane border form wo pazazi amanzuntwi bia ni ho yankotome ni pedu na o meye o aye untie ma asemi bi emfa ema media wadama na odi wani atremo ewo Cars Estates Ghana Limited yenti wonso betumi esida nsemi bia obetie enese eye dagbonfo eye yana abukari mahama ya otosu mienu na chese dagbon kingdom honom no fiti bra otoye na fei na adehye ebusuan to santen abese mampani na ye na chese ye ne wontoto ye nyina wo mo ede ababeto nanim.
Minister for Education so Owura Haruna Idrisu Zansambi atuda sesiara na kwaya today basic education for ye wonyi won ho na sesiara no yaza abanzi share bebogu akwem
sanso ena eye chairman wontumi na semo apeda ne mu wo man Ghana mu ne de ya yese wonkwontwetwere mu emfie no polepole aduonu mabopa eye areho Owura matimpebu mrani mu ne osio eye pa fe no hu sese o man Ghana ye bo adwuma bitibiti ena fom kra
Chama wontumi ne chire ho aso na mpanyimfo bebre no akasa ezafon yezimu nchire mbaba bosom
SMP no akadi aboboso yi enho ena ye jebredi asoma befo ntentefri kese na so ntrodo ene ne ntrada so ne mpitiripi ene ne mpatra paris Facebook ne so aye Mothers 102.7 Accra YouTube ne so aye Mothers TV Ghana udu hono mo French ni besie ende tro aniema no miensa pe like wa share na wa commenti apesemakafo anwumrei ya de share se mampo hene na bo mu papa bi me motofa bohima abena foku ye bo amene
Jumain Dausa
ensemene ntremu eni
Mothers FM yes somosompa
Ewusiafo ye mfiti ensemana se na memfa enso emma wo edia ye wa heya eni chebi ene enyane ntie se wode wani tremu ewo etifido mantam no esoa dagbon kingdom wewo honom ya wada wonu ma no hene popro na odini amadoso wo hototo niama ewo ehonom na rehosem ne se wada ya wansore ne hododo no mritia we bim ena ye hunu ne free so bete bayra homem ama ba mowo enso so ede ne kotu aba be hye ne ya na ya rahusem ye ewo omaimu ni nyina yankasa yentemu esanse wobo adwuma wadre eboa ye eye adwuma bebre ema wantwi na dabo wahini no na ewo hu ni nyina no asomdie etumi wie mu die enso so ewo ehono ma na ni nyina eye eniema bebre wo ye ede kan ho a eno ehye ne monyam ma mpanimfo hwe ye ede ni si ade so ma wodi ade no aduru ba bi eduru sei no ofra ne ntoma ne tintin emu na mpanimfo ede mpaebo ehye so edema no ebobo bia enam se musemi hye yenso hono a wo mudi gu akwamudi amanu nti wo mafiti ase dada niama enso ekose ne ewo se eko na enede ya ewo mampani na tena ye ena eye edom ato santi metre dabon adehye abusua ya wonom so ewo ho ye dabon traditional council wo mo enso tietie o mo chacha mu ebepie mu ewo eye nkrapumpuni mantami so mampani na kache ne mpanimfo ahodo akebie wo mu twahia ye eho ena omudi aye ne ho ntoto ye beto mampani anim se na dama de wo ho ni wo mu ayi ni fremu enye ye ntine ewo se ekobia no sei ena ebekwa omode beto mampani anim His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na de wodi aye adehye nanim di wonom eba ye aye na yam na ntom na Mahamadu ya wotoso enum wodi wo manim eba ye ede aye ne ho ntoto ye ebeto mampani gonja dehye wono so nanim a adabraka na akwakoye aye ofeso eda na se ewo fiti bra ne ho dodo no omutumi boaya ede abesi sesemre yenkotie eye ne nsem no ebi.
Your Excellency, we come before you today not with joy but with heavy hearts and profound grief. Yet we come also with deep gratitude that in the final chapter of our beloved King's earthly journey, you stood by him, by us, and by the Dagbon Kingdom with compassion, dignity, and the full weight of your office. We wish to formally announce to Your Excellency and to the government and the people of Ghana the passing of His Royal Majesty Ndanyana Abubakar II, King and Overlord of the Dagbon Kingdom, who departed this earthly life on Saturday, the 11th of July, 2026. In accordance with Islamic tradition and Dagbon custom, His Royal Majesty was buried in the early hours of of this morning, Monday, the 13th of July, 2026, within the sacred premises of the Jowa Palace. The third day Adua, or prayers, was observed on Thursday, the 16th of July, 2026, and the seventh day Adua will be on Friday, 24th July, 2026.
Na eye openi kese ya wodi adehye abusu anim ede santin be pie mampani anim ne na ye kokotie ye ne kasa ye chi na eye ngomesua ho so afo no kro ya ne chine mu sam na hye de ma adehye awonom ewo Tamale South ono nso so oye oba pa sonkon ewo eye dabon hono mu a ono nso trani so edema eye mampani Mahama se ono nso atumi agina wo machi fiti bra ohene yi efra ne ntoma ne tintin emu edi besi ene say why be bread ya mom so any asopa.
And the chiefs and people of Dagbon, that President John Dramani Mahama did not just handle the matter of Ndanyana ailment in his capacity as President of the Republic, but one of a compassionate son supporting his father. And to paraphrase the words of Nanton now, if the weight of the presidency could save the life of Ndanyana, President Mahama gave his all. So whilst President Mahama did everything humanly possible, God also did what was exclusively his. But I think it's important that I just state that when the matter happened, the president designated me to work with the chief of staff to give Ndanyana every deserving support. And Mr. President, to your wisdom, Nazang Bangalana, who is also a medical doctor, was dispatched on the instructions of the president to represent the Dagbon state and to keep him and the government team apprised.
Nano si ya pe ena Ghana mampeni gonja de share watija tango maso de press already His Excellency John Dramani Mahama etrese wo share eye Yana Abukari Mahama otosu mienu amemu obebu ye na eyade ani monyam share epa ene wo mu esan se oboaye ema eye nkunimdie ba wono mafa eye mpincha na ewo ho ene mentime ho asi nyina wotuni nyina egu nachi ema sumdie di hini ewo na memu mu ana eyade a eboa no se ade kase ato dagbonfo ani nanso we die yomamu ni nyina ena ade ato ye ni nti no adwumaso obebo ye de bo man Ghana nti ena ewo se ye kan no na ye kan ne ye na ye sie no kra na chi kra eno so akoye eye ni monyam hyekese de ama no no so e de ya konsem emabusua nyina sempo no bibimpo ewo akira obeye de obetumi bia e de agina wo machi.
On behalf of the government and people of Ghana and on my own behalf, I extend our deepest condolences to the Dagbon Traditional Council, the royal family, the chiefs and people of Dagbon, and indeed to all Ghanaians who mourn the loss of one of our nation's most distinguished traditional rulers. The passing of the Yana is not only a moment of profound grief for Dagbon, but it is a national loss. Ghana has lost a statesman amongst traditional rulers, a man whose wisdom, moderation, and commitment to peace earned him the respect of people across political, ethnic, and religious divides. His Royal Majesty assumed the skin of Dagbon at a very difficult period in the kingdom's history. And yet, through patience, humility, and unwavering resolve, he transformed a kingdom once scarred by conflict into an enduring symbol of reconciliation, unity, and hope. And I wish to assure the chiefs and people of Dagbon that government is standing in full solidarity with you during this period of mourning. We shall work closely with the Dagbon Traditional Council to ensure that the appropriate state courtesies and support are extended as preparations are made for the final funeral rites of our departed king. May the Almighty Allah grant His Majesty Yana Abukari II eternal rest and admit him into Jannat al-Firdaus.
Yes, I'm Mothers FM.
Any aye kwoko tie aye Ghana mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na chese ala emfa no enhye ne kukumu kama asumdie sonko enko emfa emma eye Yana Abukari Mahama wotoso mienu a Fidaus di nkra be mu mi hu kanti Jimmy Jaima no na odi asoso di amaye na mampeni se ala mane de
Amman Jannat al-Firdaus
echeze
heaven midini heaven e wo esura him
eni si eti mu ankwan
me so me hon na the best rank
na
me
last one ye betu maka say paradise
paradise timita me ye obi asa
no kra na ye ti omu why
hey yo yes from so yazobo to fa akọ Minister for Education in Pemprezi why presidency government accountability series ni nara no woma media assessment if I hene school ho nsem wa Jubilee House na ehọ na so afọ hwe school ho nsem kopie mu wo ho na wodin nsem bebre na tuga wo chede sesiara na akwaya today basic education me share from crèche akosi form 3 no ayede mpanyimfo no wenwonyi do na mo wenwa woda ye SS University Technical chede akasini ma na wei eno onyoyafo Haruna nsem bi atugoro chede Pemprezi Ghana man pen sesiara no wo beye hona adwen anada wo beye bibia mes mo beye yen basic school no so wo ba mo hone isika anada wodi bibi wotu won futuo mes mo beye ehona na wo shase wo abon hone ho school mu nsem no nko wie today wa kwa SS University Technical ansana wetu abon nti sesiara no school fiti ahyase na oyaza wo bo hwe na wetu mu abo hon dam kwan no do
set agenda. I would begin with basic education, which is foundational and important for us. Every country gets it right if it invests in its foundational learning system, because that is where literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, problem solving is learned. But in Ghana over the years, we have chosen to spend more at the secondary level than at the basic education level. A wrong that President Mahama is determined to right, and to ensure realignment and reallocation of resources more into foundational basic education.
Onyonyamfo Haruna Idrusu biam so osanso the nasambi to gorche dem Pemprezi in painful bobo na wa hwe mes wobeya was it artificial intelligence ni be hye na desuem metre AI no na TVET technical and vocational education and training no ni na bobo na wa za hye hye curriculum no mu mes wobeya hye na desuem no botum education na fe so no yetum yenyafaso bebre na izefido.
For all people from kindergarten to junior high school will be presented formally to the Ministry of Education for onward submission to the President and for the policy to go to Cabinet and Parliament. The revision of our curriculum is to ensure smart start curriculum for greater integration of technology, science, engineering, and mathematics. We have promised to introduce coding, electronics, artificial intelligence, and TVET into the basic education curriculum. And this will be the new addition.
Enza ekweti yeswa for hwenye suku ho nsem ye onyonyamfo Haruna Idrusu no ozanansam bi atuga.
Yanto so ewon nsem fufro emo yesi afia aba ena yedie na enede ye die chairman wontumi ena wono ne ho asem nene enam ewie mu ache so my Ghana mu edi afo asani se ya arahosem ene se na asem mu atwetwere court ye egusu a edi bi ye bi nso ewo akire ne efa eye Samra Boy mine ne ho a woni eye nkrata ne tumidie biara wotumi ekokotu efomagudie ewo hono ma enam kwati kweswo na na ehun nsem yegusua ya na womo ehwe ekoba na chesa Contact Mining Limited ya ne dia no womo ena edi se adwuma no ewo ho ne de ya ena otemuafo eye Justice Audrey Kokuvita wotena so wo yi atan no ama na eyi ne so a no kire se kwakotwere mu emfie no porepore aduo no 20 years na ye adwumaden fasom oman kronkron Ghana eno so kra danchen aye boka 120,000 beautiful choppable Ghana cedis ne de to ko ho se eno so te esa ne se ade a wokoye ye ne nyansunsuanso bone ewo eye timemofo bi a wonum so ewo ho no asemi beto ho na obi biara enso e kan ne ope e de afa ho ebi gitum ebi nso esusu se yade a eso pa ye e de ema no na owura eye Rashid Tanko wono e na ye Deputy Director of Elections and IT ye wo NDC Chineke amanyokuo nim wo be kirechire mu se ade a chema wontumi ye no na entwaye ade a woni wontumi krata na woni wontumi bia ye den e na wo makwan ema efomagudu etufo e de wo mu accoutrement wogu asase ne so etumpempena de de nchembo apiabo eni sika okọ e wo mu eno so de asem ya bayi we de e ya de sa tentene ni ewie mu de matememofo a wonu ma wo ho esanse de oye ye no na sebe sunsunsanso e kobone e de ama wonu.
I must say justice has been served to the good people of the environment which has been destroyed and whose children are now suffering from birth defect. Kidneys have now been destroyed because of the activities of Akonta Mine and its affiliates. I mean, all these things, people are not looking at that. Go to the environment, the communities where they were operating, and you will see that children are now being born with one eye. Some are born with few fingers. Some are born without legs. All these birth defects is as a result of the heavy metal that they are using in doing this. They are illegal. So people are talking about 20 years, but they are not looking at the effect of the dangers they have caused into this community. But justice has been served. In fact, we were expecting, in fact, to me, I was expecting about 25. You should have taken the 25. That is the law. The law is very clear. From 15 to 25. The minimum is 15 and the maximum is 25. The judge was lenient to have given him the 20 years. Looking at the content, the magnitude of damage caused to these communities, just because of somebody's parochial interest.
Wey Yera Rashid Tanko na chese ono kwede nko ohwese be mfie no aduonu enum 25 kra ena nketwa se ye de ema no na ono nso ne kasa ye chi ena eye National Director Edema eye Rocho Ghana Daily Bonus ono nso so ebe kasa ye Yera eye Dara Bonsu ono nso se o se ye eye na niji bebre se wo twere eye chema untumi sakratai se eye ne bone so akatua ena wanyai na okoya mamra ne mumpo a anka galamse kura de kwazi kwan so asa no enke ma obe se 20 no de kwa 25 ena wose ye de manjo no kwa de wonya 20 na ze wonya ne trimpo edi de mo se we ebe yo se na ho ede ama eye wonum so e wachira wonum eyosa
na taba dinana ya kase ebe galamse ya you who say political force persons be can one and not fight me for year. And say no maybe to me ya. Sometimes no stopping police for and after police commission for from some way over Juma. Now and then suddenly the court will have court here. Amma really want to mean as many activities and get within Galamsey, no. I think I send here a better thing here. Ya jitumpa na the past that decision we aba. Never I did not fail to the can say. Say on my penny and I said judiciary no edit 2 home of BRC say. So woman Dana at 995 now on the exchange say. Be a say dear woman Dana. I said don't call between 15 and 25 years. And to make sure that we did judgment, but we share at 995 fire teacher somewhere 2019 in the previous administration now. Next year, the year, you must be say, yeah, I am one of the who say, why, or keep why, you have permitted plan media, and can say, with nothing less than 15 years.
na ono nso ne nkasa ye chie ena Owura Ebenezer aka wono nso so ena wogina mu ede ma mebunuku a wonom so ewo samna boy ho no se hwe yen so kra de atutu powder de agu ye ho ya nigye bi ni ene ahosepe bi pa na ye nya o esanse na wodi ye wupa na asem ye twen se aban di ye betu ye asusu ampa ya ni nua ene ampa atentene ne aye adwuma se de na eya de a wo makoma epre ehwehwe.
We presented our petitions against Chairman Wontumi as far back as October 2022. 2022, more than 2 years before Akufo-Addo left office. Yeah, the CID boss at that time, and Kofi, and then IGP, they were doing kukwasa, like, so to wait, delay, because of Chairman Wontumi's influence. So you see why we had to change the MPP so that the system would work. Because as long as MPP remained in power, Chairman Wontumi was not going to be brought to book because he was governor of the Ashanti region. Governor. And today,
yes, true. After Wontumi was banished from Tanonumre Forest, you could see a lot of people are in that Tanonumre Forest and also in the Kano River mining. So I think the government must deploy military men in Samraboy to put a massive stop on the illegal mining activities that's going on here. Although Wontumi has been convicted for 20 years sentence imprisonment, but still the illegal mining activities are going on here. You could see the current flooding too was led by Wontumi, but we the citizens of Samraboy are part of all these things. So for us to put a massive stop to the illegal mining activities, it will be good for the government, the sitting government, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, and all the stakeholders to get involved in the fight against illegal mining in Samraboy. After the flooding, all of us has been stranded. We don't know where to go. Over 100 or 200 houses have been broken down. All our properties have gone astray, and we don't know what to do now. We have lost our businesses and so many things.
Ena emrani muni yera Martin Pebu enso betre na adwene ede efa ho. Wono de wo susu sa de aye ibayo se na ho kese pa we kire se we there no one is above the law. Say oye penny, say oye akra, obia emrano ediwa na ediu na che say ache ede wo agina honom. Ente ade a ne kwa so a enso eno no. Afempo no hu so man Ghana no ye adwuma bitibiti pa eye.
We presented our petitions against Chairman Wontumi as far back as October 2022. 2022, more than 2 years before Akufo-Addo left office. Yeah, the CID boss at that time, and Kofi, and then IGP, they were doing kukwasa, like, so to wait, delay, because of Chairman Wontumi's influence. So you see why we had to change the MPP so that the system would work. Because as long as MPP remained in power, Chairman Wontumi was not going to be brought to book because he was governor of the Ashanti region, governor. And today he's been showing his real size, right? Yeah, so it's good. It's a good judgment by all standards. By knowing the legal system and expect that he's going to go on appeal. Well, that would have taken the case too long. It would have taken too long. We don't know when the Supreme Court will do the interpretation. So that was way too long. Even the first question is, as to whether the Supreme Court would even accept to do the interpretation, nobody can tell. You see, when you do a reference, what Atachian's request is that send it to the Supreme Court that this and this require interpretation. Administration, we presented our petitions against Chairman Wontumi as far back as October 2022.
Martin Pebu.
Yazoba to find a Chairman Wontumi and Samida way na ye were hoy abrianka be and shem and paying for Chairman Wontumi or Sunday. Your copy more some boy assassin was and internet and paying for Canasa says Yaronum. Wallerman 20 good years. No way in the MPP for one task crowd Sunday. 20 good years no Yaza on Che enough no so or Yaza Way and Amanion. Some way do Mary Abria MPP paying for your press conference. Now way in one General Secretary Justin from Ponkodia and then some two Gorish and Pemprins one Jim Phantom Crass and the 20 good years no or Yaza also na face so why na menyo 76 arano woboko appeal mess mo be am painful but as no but na do no way to matter to that be mo Sunday 20 good years no was a mandama on cheye
Maka cho man penin se and some men ya Ghana for hwe se obetu hu sa no and no hu sa na otu na emom no opponent and no na adwen se obetu nani ade asi wo mo so Cocoa farmers for esu sebi enche ye ene nso eyin fa amanfo omo nkran ha ene regency bi aka o ma pani ka wodi a wodi prosecute opponent no kasa wodi ni bi no fa ko hye sa ntokwa we mu se be ya flag no nsem no ejin nsem wo mem ha na de me ka ko wie ne se me se titafo me hye mo bo se PP chema wontumi nja ne mu me ka che mo se sebi ene de hia ye no MPP legal team for no ya ka che mo se omo file appeal no mo challenge decision na judge no aba na me wie no me pese wi asem nyina ti ase se chema wontumi abankoko ma da kotwe no ya mayosem sebi enya boni bi no akwakoye oye political prisoner amayosem ti enya na koto abankoko mu ya mayosem ti ana ndisi aban enya koto abankoko mu na yakopo ti ase no yeni se ebrese mo nokre eba bedaji media mu nyina amase
General Secretary Zuma Justin Frimpong Kodria and Northern Assembly at go at them pay praise and pay for some working in Ara when you evidence be a one crata some biara you watch them Chama won't me assassin or Luton or Kwam one of those and the well my evidence biara. Now I yet you know so in a Nankasan lawyer or legal practitioner Bernard Oredo na Southern Assembly to go watch them pay praise Chama won't me Nankasan company no ni stretches be a Nankasa and Northern Pell or the Yaz Nankasan to no any BBR and so you got
He's been sentenced because, according to the court, his actions were the actions of his company, and those areas of law they're a bit grey. So I'm a bit worried. It's quite unfortunate. There's so much not developed yet. People have argued that the issue of lifting the veil, if that's defeats the whole idea of separate entity of companies. So it's something which has been going on. So I'm a bit worried. I'm sure his lawyers will look at the judgment and advise him accordingly, because I'm sure there should be a way around that. Because yes, I do appreciate that, yes, there are situations where the veil of incorporation could be lifted and directors could be held responsible. It is not in all situations that those things are applicable. So I'm sure it's an area his lawyers would have to look at and see if it will open up some areas of appeal for him. But I'm a bit worried and a bit sad, because I was of the view that the minimum sentence was okay, because I made a point that getting Wontumi out of the picture, that is incarcerating him, may affect a lot of things, especially his businesses, the number of people he employs and all that. So that was the appeal I was making to the court, that yes, the court has come to the conclusion and convicted Mr. Wontumi for all the offenses. But in terms of the sentences, I mean, the court ought to consider his significance in society.
Your legal practitioner, your Bernard Oredo, Chama Wontumi, a lawyer, and so other some visit to go. Honestly, so lawyer and the appear could be so than some bit to go and pen praise in Bernard Chama Wontumi, Galam say Nori and so Yagalam say Bianori, when on Namdo, Emma paying for Kakan Yamase, you could be more to be from Nina, that Chama Wontumi, Tintontano, or Bashana was now quite to Jay, when on Namdom and some Abana was shy, and yet Chama Wontumi, Galam say Binoli, Nambum no. I
attempt to correct the guy, my good friend who just spoke to you. And I'm saying that he is alleging that Chema Wontumi has been prosecuted for illegal mining. That is incorrect. The charges against Chema Wontumi are not in any way close to illegal mining or related offenses. No. The charges are two. Practically, first one is that he is accused of having assigned his interest in a mining lease to another person without authorization from the minister. Number one. Let me explain that offense. If you have interest in the mining concession, the interest is evidenced by execution of a conveyance, transferring the interest to you. So you have it. If you decide to transfer that interest to another person, you need the minister's concurrence. Now, in Ghana, transfer of interest in land as per assignment is by execution of a document called an assignment that would evidence the transfer of that interest to another person.
Enza ye lawyer and the appear could be northern Sambi at go Richard and Pemprains in Yagalam no na wajina do was in the damna another was jail in 20 good years numbum no Ghana Minerals and Mining Act in Brano no was jina do and Pemprains lawyer won't chema won't to me no etum ake ejemu honor no so lawyer afakwa no so yaza ozen Sambi zitugwa.
One would have thought that at least once a person is charged with assignment of mineral right without authorization, it was right that the Lands Act clearly defines what assignment is. And assignment is by way of a written instrument. And if there was none throughout the trial, and that a person could be convicted and sentenced on same, then it's really a worrying trend. And what can we do except to consult our clients and fashion out the way forward and come out, right? Yeah, certainly it was brought under the Mining Act, but the Mining Act doesn't talk of assignment. It talks in terms of assignment. The specific legislation that regulates the conduct of land transactions is the Lands Act of 2020. Yes, Act 1036. It regulates the conduct of land transactions. So if you want to really understand what assignment means as far as land transactions are concerned,
Ora Enoch Afakwa Northern Sambi at Gorched and Pemprains 20 good years now was my Union for Chema won't to Mino or Yaza or Ya and what is Samankasa Nechede or Ya TTA Ankasa honor no so in a Christian Mom Hesi no so a private legal practitioner no so than Sambi the Chato.
Charges now added to no so no say permitting and facilitating unlicensed mining. After allegations say was said to be brave or ye Juma was so without permit. After so minister and granting approval on one casa or you see ni ahon din dia ekra libya on the mamam for in government and all of that. So those are some of the charges leveled against him. And also near Apunta mining also no court no charges no this unauthorized assignment say you can't assignment interest in land in
Mothers FM yes some pa
Christian Mom Hesi, also your legal practitioner, Northern Assembly to Gorched and Pemprains, Chama won't to manage more Lina and Krata Samno on Shada in Sisidu on CCA. Nesambia and so the Chatono.
Ewusi ayanto aso ewo ensem fufuro emo edia ye de ani betremu ewo eya enkwanta na America krani wantwi mentime ho asene atutwa sem ama ne homene so ewo ehopa eye no nam so masrafo akobodompem ewo honom a ene o hye na pa kafu yibi da wonum so se ne ebeye ne wo ye na wakena kekeda na wakeda na wo ye wade ententem time eni kwan se upie no umpie ene ade na wo bia bepie mu se eye obaya ba ku apie monten so ama asrafoi ato ahye ne so edi no empamro pa eye edi ja ahye ne ba ho se bia tesem ebie ne yate ne yeka bidi a kire wona chese wo ma hye na yakayaka de ne ne ya pa eye edi eye ne ho agura na eno na abeto monten so ma binom eche wonu madwe de afa ho na emrani mu ni Victoria Bright wono so pie mu ewo esemtwefo anim ena wo cheche na semu se saa dia wo ma ye se bi mpedua se tiamra kra se ubora ya mamra ni mu a eye article 14 ni 15 honom no hu twehye ho junction ho a etiamra kese ewo ho pa se wo matumi ayesa eno so kra da nchen a eye oba na oba so kra de ye bu oba sen ana muslim nsa ewo eye oba esowei eye ade a osusu se ewo se emra eye bibi ede efa ho esanse entwa yi kra
the young lady, and I was shocked. In fact, I couldn't really watch all of it and listen to it. She couldn't even sit. She couldn't sit. She was like this throughout the whole thing. And I mean, what gives anybody the right? What happened to Articles 14 and 15 of our Constitution? Why do people think the Constitution can be used selectively? I mean, or they can just ignore it in this country. We are not living in a banana republic. I mean, you are a security personnel. You are security personnel. Articles 14 and 15 of the Constitution protect our personal liberty and human dignity. Human dignity. How can you be telling this young woman to open her legs and be using fire in her private parts? I mean, what kind of depraved person? I cannot call this person a human being. Armed forces needs to immediately identify the personnel that were involved in this thing and conduct some investigation and maybe not just by themselves, maybe some other, I don't know, Shraj or somebody should get involved in it, because this is serious human rights violation and abuse of this young girl. We don't even know what damage has been caused internally to this girl.
Na eno echie ena Dr. James Kwabena Bomfe ono nso so eye political activist ono nso piemo ewo eye nsɛmtwerɛfo kro na ni won komona ho sempo eye oba yamana bie na hemu na sebe na kosua kuman yadija defe ho ne ade menim so mu kusanwi na ewo so se na etesen yo na chese yade a entwaye wode wani ho a sebe airtime kra na ono nso so bowra ya mamra nim chese article 125 honum clause 2 urema womo echese eye atemwo efri dodo na nso etumi free eye tememofo ye nso ye honum enye de bia na free soro beba na da ye de niema ehye ye so ye ya kayaka de eni ade a eni ti bibia ni a e wo sempanimfo dwent tememofo ho ansampo na namo bi honum a wonum ahwe etu.
What our constitution says, that a person is deemed innocent until proven guilty. Now we prove people guilty and say they should come and prove their innocence. We need to have our security personnel respect this. And lastly, I want to advocate that constitutional activism requires all citizens to test the law. Persons who have been abused by policemen, not defamation, no, but abuse of their rights, their civil liberties. Some are coerced to give testimonies and witnesses even without their lawyers present. And we use that against them to convict them. And sometimes judges too overlook when there is clear evidence that this accused person or this suspect may have been cajoled into adopting or taking the position they have taken because of our adversarial system. Okay. I want to plead that when we say justice emanates from people, which is one of the erroneous impressions that this bill seeks to say, that they want to introduce persons, individual, non-lawyers, and other things. It's already there. If you read Article 125, Clause 2, let us remember that we are each other's keeper.
Na ne krakra mu no ena yera Aaron Asiedu entry where NPP communications team member and was say what do any shemu ewo ye otimantam ne so asade yade a ama ne homne so ho ne tokoso ade achi ade sa nanso akwakoye o enya besi o minimpani bi o enko ba bia o we ye be krakra mu a obohu ana asem no krana na no so ewu nanso ya nhwe ne amfa ye antu ye bia na dachi bi no agensemu.
This is just one of the numerous attacks that is happening at Nkwanta that has been highlighted. And thankfully, or unfortunately, a journalist is part of it. Reason we are having that discussion. Yesterday, he sent me a number of charge sheets. That what happens is that when they arrest you, they put you at the Nkwanta police station for about 72 hours, transfer you to the CID headquarters, keep you here. When you get bail at the court, then they leave the matter. They don't even continue prosecution. In fact, one of the charge sheets I read, in fact, the fact of it, someone was making a phone call at 9 a.m. when the police and military in a joint snap check just saw him. They said that the gentleman has diverted his route coming to them, so they have arrested him. They actually arraigned him before court for publication of false news. It is here. Read the facts over here and read the charge sheet.
Mothers FM, yes, some pa.
Way ora Aaron Asiedu entry ne na yekokotie ye no. E was ya for fire do so ye benom so na ya homeso kakra ye beda boafo ase. Kese na enko Enfama Cars Estate Ghana Limited Sasekroje ya ne bo eda for mo pasase amansontwi bi ani ho. Ye nkoto mani pedua ho nkrata se CPC ta langa lisembi ani ho dia. Warehwe ye kira kwan no abejo de wonsase ni bi e wo baabi bebre to adama hwehwe ye na ejo de ye try hotel ye basisia.
Adishmaima Cars Estate Ghana Limited. Ye Jumakubia. Yesi dine ton dine. Eton sase krujia. Mansubia ni hu. Wuto yen sasibia. Ebeya wudia forever and ever. Wabusian dachinti. Enunti. Cars Estate say. Tia 10% to pay. Na fe shasye. Usi dino. Na uchani kakra. Cars Estate in Kwane won sasi with the whole Ghana. Ya won sasi bi wo Greater Accra. Baby to say. Atoman. Kofi Donko. Imam Peya. Danjra. Kaswa Obom. Dodowa. Kofi Kwe. Ayete Kote. Weja. Broadcaster. Ani Bebre. Sayakwa Central Region in Sua. Cape Coast. Ayensudo. J. Krodia. Portin. Gomwa Kwe Krum. Yankwa Eastern Region. Ensawam. Kwasinyako. Afram Krum. Afayentufa. Na Yanko Northern Region. You will be Watamale. Nyampala. Ensasuno Bay. UDS Campus. Watamale Kumase Kwanso. Yesansu wa Executive Wanzo. Diada Kromu Pe. Na Wusansu Pe. Asasi Yantam. Edia Yakria and Efua. You will be with the whole Ghana. And on Tishushi Yachakwan. With the main office. Accra. Tesano. Yani Ghana Telecom University. And our police training school. And the Dijanimu. Wakaswa Malam Quantum Ponoso. Among from. Yani Resurrection. Sorry, the Dijanimu. Na Yakwa Amasama Iswa. Opposite the Central Marks. Wa Amasama Iwa. Obakwa office no. I was site to Hope. Afei Ashaiman. Yani Lorry Station no. And the Dijanimu. Freye 0302 963740. Ebiem 0302 963740. Cars Estate Ghana Limited. Yenti Usubet Miesidai. Adishimaima. Cars Estate Ghana Limited. Ye Jumakubia. Yesi dine ton dine. Eton sase krujia. Mansubia ni.
FM 102.7 afe Mothers TV ekeo de. Jumakua wasa henasi ya Cars Estate Ghana Limited. Sepensase papa ne buda for mansu nyohu wenchu biara nyiwa. Ona Cars Estate Ghana Limited. Branaba Jonesase onche biara nom. Ena woso etum aye efere. Yezubo tu fanso ako Gomwa Westa. Aspiring parliamentary candidates Zima Gomwa West afei na orishede nyakopo botuma na adom na we bebezi a oye ononyamfo God's Smart adodo na friend Captain Smart say CRA we kwekwepi mo Gomwa West a ni dwumeze original no oyaza obebra oboyina nkasa a ni na akowiem dem Gomwa mane hone mpuntu akachi ni nara na senyame ya adom mo woto no da ba mo bebezi MP oyaza bohwe mani nara etum akwanka no ono mmeye no we nya MPP ni NDC no orobua ama Gomwa mane nara no hone fapini nara etum esipinti pempen no osreda wonto abanwa fama na nyame ya adom na se woto aban so wazema na he me delegate funi na rabosum biara no hona kochia baba we ya asamat memfa Ogomwa West no wati wenwa age papa person de wati da mensem ni bi acha oni onyafo eze ensam tugwa wa bra kopie mo Ogomwa dentra a oze asobo foma wolugboyi DVLA offices am hono kra mes mo beya an hona woka ahyen no na afi motorcycle ni na no one driving license no onko echichichi no oyaza orugbo ebi wo hoza am hono mes mo beya hono dwumeza wozi ni nara botum aye intentem oza am hono ti yankoti oni onyamfo Captain Smart nensam
Message I was from a delegate or very simple. Gomwa West delegate to Abre. Muni Hunaman. Debiara what to Aba. Ever control a Makodin out of the 78 towns and villages. My visits close to 50. Baby Abokobia and Warshay delegates now. Na Yatwaba, you with Yatwaba, you with Mamman K. Naman Canabu. On your mampain no be fin can. Now, Bana 6 unit classroom block, President Abado Obisi. On your president, no Sada Obaha, na Boho Keken, or a president no Sada Obabutu. Boho need Juban, or Sada MP. I mean, my Camovian can't tell me the MP school than MP near Boho. I mean, me MP, Messi school. I mean, me MP, Mayor Boho. I mean, me MP, as a factory beba. I mean, me MP, as a project, I can say baba. Then trended the area about Kenabana because I don't know what about it. I was so bazari about to put to be the Zaba. On your day, they get a diplomatic passport. That's it for you. Debbie, on the day of the bar. On ye, it's a delegate. And when I can say we who Morocco, then when I can say we who there, but must I feel a Panama Bay. Then also the Nipa, or no Bob Woman, why ye? On your Tom Namon Comra, Debbie, young to Abani, NDM and Sana. You're very young to Juvana, or Safata Gumafu. I'm a good one, so you see in my young Kaka. Nay, Bratcher.
Tie Onyonya for Captain Smart Northern Sambi Atugari Chado no Bobwa Mahene Swazo Honi Nara etum abam amatmem for Wogomwa West Miss Mobaya Mribe Braina Hona Quantin Pon some which was at what the Wonyeni ye Timem for Ho Bray Yankasal and Hono Quano Yaza on Cheye and Tipem Prince on our shadow Bobwa and Mazama Biara etum atutona cream Zamahon so what Tono Daba and Mombebe embrace James Magumwa Westa when Bibia Botum atutoye on so ena ohina pawze magwo modensha na nakwandam na southern sambi to go chede mo apia o Captain Smart wujumeza reason no oyaza osun yiye ankasa anti wo inara wo hyem kita wo gyan wanando wa bompaiza tewechi de marihwe biara no ontu mombre mfa mo mesi mo baya agwomu amanno hona yinsaze hunu botum aba na wo so wo befi won tibia dada no mu akoti bia foforo mu no so na sambia ozetu gwani
opese obesandi MP no so omunni ni hwamo sanse dwumadi a odi no aye dwumadi kase na yakoto ase NDC delegate ne so se mema omunni enua captain hwamo wo dwumadi a wodo a odi especially mikro mu gomu ade nchira menua ebadu a woda delegate nano minim se one delegate for no bekasa na nanu matrankonya ene dan su mo beta machi no yenyina aye koyi mesre na aye ne yekro mu NDC delegate ne so nkasa na yenua Captain Smart na ni so ade huna eni ti ode ba gomu amamu adumi abem onya medi MP onya mefura banya no na wo hwe dwumadi a wodi ogomu amamu a na ebro adwen ene ntiase so eye nkan na se ne mre no ye beka se oye nyankopon a nyankopon ede na chen oye Yesu Kristo dwumadi ahodo kese a wodi ogomu amamu no na eye fe eye ani so eye na nanom so fe na de kan se gomu ade nchiraman eso no mu yi ne nkasa emu no oka bibi se ode cement aba a me ankasa odi kro mi di hu adanse a ye 300 bars me no ka se egu mi kro mu ha de nchira cement anyo lo so ode 3 ton enso abegu mi kro mu gomu ade nchira ha every dwumadi ya se a free o chade ko no contractor no be start aye adwuma
Kwatie ohine pon na nakwandam no zena sambi atugore chero wo bobwa ama bibi biara na agommu amanfo wo hwehwe no wo so etum abam amono sende sesiara no Captain Smart eyi nanyim do bobwa ho no mo won puntu won nzama bia ontoye kane no ni nara etum esin na do no no yaza wo so wo hwe nyankopon na adum na ni hwema ne mesi mo baya dachi no gomma no so wo befi won tibia deda mu asanso akofufurum
Momo me na yemfansi ogomua West hono na monka me ho na yempeje mfiri ho mfa ye ni entremo ewo sehwi yo so ekropon no emu na womo edi dwumadie asehye so ya no eye Western North Region Zone B Festival of Arts and Culture na eno ase ena Municipal Director of Education onimonyam for Samuel Tewia Nipa okasa wase no wotu asuafo nyina fo se ewo mu setre ne se eye Adomache de egu ahodo obia ene de medie ne se mete he ya ma no werere de bia abono nsien na chese obia ne de nanso asuafo na nya se wo eya adomache de se obebobo obeto nwom ne ade no na odi book na to ba bi o sini nyina no for bom usua de no na onsoso adomache de ne tokro enokro tumi boa ema ehye okutupa ewa de nyina mu tumi wie peye ede manto mu mfa na entumi so emwa wonum yie
ayewa be shia mo se was yeah, bedroom dream. You should be a fire, mamma, any amani. It is shop with China. Come here, sir. A Yadisia, yes, I appreciate. Sarabaya, your Kodano be a mamma, amani, I crumble. Ukraine, you may see a discussion, Zara. Yes, was a tech, a sack, a service to Edison Joseph. Who's a Colano, only dear. Efa mamamre ene amani eho usha die butaya akamia sense ne se bi akwa no contract class na the first true purpose nemo e be say yehu achade anyankopon ede adombo
ene yewunim ye bia no ye boa ama ana ye identify the ama na emum ye yima owie a ɛno nkyerɛ sɛ to nwomasua no nso fa twɛ woyɛ bia na ɔsɛ wode nwomasua no ɛbata ho ɛno na ɛbɛma ayɛ complete ana aburo ni bɛka sɛ wobɛyɛ ho sɛ ampempo ɛna wonim bɔ a fa nwomasua no fa bata
asɛm no wan fence owieyɛ ɛna ɔne nananom atena nkonya ɛyɛ mpanimfo wo nso wɔ hɔ bi ɛnso so enya akasasie kakra yɛnkotie nsɛm ɔde to wonom ani
mesrɛ yɛ nananom a ne yɛ traditional leaders na ɔmo yɛ the custodian of our rich culture and traditions no sɛ ɛbere biara nwomasua so ɛyɛ anaa kyerɛkyerɛfoɔ mpanimfoɔ ɛbɛbɔ apini wɔn sɛ wɔpɛ mmoa no ma ɔmo ntwa ɔmochi na ɔmo mfa ɔmochi ɛnkyerɛ wɔ ɔmo ɛnyɛ wɔ awa na ɔmo mmoa wɔ ebetumi aba sɛ yɛbɛpɛ nimdeɛ na afiri yɛ nananom ɛhɔ ayɛ a ɔmo ma yɛ kwanya no na deɛ ɔmo nim no ɔmo nkyerɛ yɛn efisɛ yɛn akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ anaa ɛnɛmafoɔ no yɛ deɛ no bebree na yɛ ana akɔyɛ buku na mmom sɛ yɛkɔyɛ nananom hɔ a ɔmo na amammerɛ ne amanneɛ no ekura ɔmo ankasa ebetumi nso ayɛ mmoa a ebi a memfa nsɛ ntwene Entoma any
Reverend Father Anthony Opon Yawono and I Western North Regional Chairman of Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary School Nitie Twemo Charles ono akroya na zonal chairman e de ma dwumadia na ekoso no fa dwumadie ne nsaso e de so emfaso de tu dwa ne krakra no e no de afuto koma e ya chechefo se wo mu nso mo a na asuafo no wo mu no madoma chede e ne ngomesua no se ne omo bebo no asiafa
schools enum a yaba be hia me ose ye bedwendwen ehia bi afa yamamre ene amane eho nti hwa botae na kame se ya adesua ye san akoyenti serebe ya nkoda no behunu amamre ne amane ayikramo no krenie besia no schools ye Zaura ye Sewa sector Asawenso ene St Joseph urse nkola no e wonimdie efa wamamre ene amane eho hwa GS botae kame se nyese bi akola no kotra classroom na the first two purpose yɛbɛsɛ yehu akyɛde anyankopɔn ɛde adom wɔ mu yɛnka nkɔkyerɛ koraa no sɛ was atumi anya musician made them St Joseph so a yɛnso the same thing nya obi a nso nyame
Father Anthony Opon ne ɛna yɛkɔkɔtie no
Sesia yazobekwe kopie mu Kaswa Brigade ewiabre ye ho yanka bia nhyem na Kia Rhino track a chede na Jabru na yemu ma ozo kwa Kaswa Kantimpon da na car so ye Folland no so onam kwan no do na Jabru kai na your friend eyewitness for no hezon sambi to go watch the mbra dam vehicle ye Kia Rhino no mbra no oroko no ya za ne break no feeling kakra nti we no nam do ma kwanche da mama dam Folland so hu no pedo ye overtaking na kwan school for bien in Pempraise one who ake edwema sesiare kwekopie mu wo no eyewitness for some to God dama wo hwede in Pempraise oyaza and I care right no ni break ni feeling na fall no swap den ko yi fa ho we no nam de sesiare no wo hwede nyimpa beye enum no oyaza sesiare wo dodo mo wo hospital a woje ayarsabia enti yankwa nkoti eyewitness ne sambia o to gwa
kwalanke to bia wo mapon a wo mo eko wo mo kwana ka ba ko ejina ma wo mo senko mo nkoba na bidie ka we se no na ono no so anu firi a kire ho a wo ba wono so anu firi a kire ho a wo ba ana ka kase ba ko nso anso di mfimfini eti na ojina enye ye wo ye hwe a enye ye ana odi betwi nti na nkwala no so esanse cars ni gina ye nti no nkwala no so ye dan e cross ana ka no be fa wo mo so na ha no mo de no kura mu ni yes rampeni for no be bibi ha wo munye na yem hyehye wa no do
school fun kola no ma po school nti o ma po school o mu kofi nti o fa se ka we no ejira ma se nkan kola no be de container na de fom no oni jira ye se kola no de mms but na bi de kan so the top speed de order nti ni o hu yan se we na ejira na de ele pim no tele pim sa na de balance no so ka pim e chende ba ko bi si so a no this accident here everybody okay that of no meeting dey obi an wan come no mo school fun kola me no dey a wo mo cross dey na omo eye problem kakaba to omo nyina so do mo call am from hospital
o say government school bi wa ase aya kola ni twem de bia aya stop cars mo bende no na America wo into driver first one private car bi stop car one stop car ni e na lead ma car we ni bidie car den bidie car so gina wo mfimfini na we SUV ye ga wan SUV an ko be kun kola ba gba ko say 6 but likely no akola ba ko penalty e pie kakra na we enso da o enne ma accident no esi wiawe
Tie ye eyewitness funi bi no na wazo wansam bi atuga na wore hweme maka na ya nyobi no beka cha ode nyipa wom no we pepra ye ankasa wo hweda afaka ka bi mpozo no bebi oda no num yazini ye ankasa ye setwedi ampon yakopon no zin ho afofie mes mo be ye obotum wasan so egya na do no na shi no so na kia right no so na wotimi benzin sambi to go a wo hwede fallen driver no ya za overtaking no no re na basa we no nam do e masesiara no wante asampa
ye kitabidie kanu etieba no ye die ina lenimu etieba ye banana kawe no driver no onu oyechi because of bidie kanu to me go speed fast ntino obeyi overtaking and obe share nim not knowing no trotro no so ayede agina ti onu eye be share nim a ogina to ansana no na we no waben sorry bideka no waben we to hiti we achi na we hiti trotro na chi waraze nti we no se e ba sa no we wagina nti na hiti no pressure no na the piano fee kwa no so se wajaze nti de ba no ado e dey no ene nkwala mi no nya affected student mi no ba ko ayo baba ko ye ba ya rush o mako the nearest hospital around ye ba no ye see e bia no me wa hanom na me metika ni ti de sie bia miti na me hwe we daba no ko me bufu ni pa because the way o see you take be share ni mtu egina ye no
ka ne mu bi na wazo wansam bi atuga sesi a wo hwem so enyimpa enum na sesi a wo ho akaye ya wazo woni go hospital bi poze oyaza we kopie mu Kolebu teaching hospital na chede na mu ayazini ye ankasa nti sesi ara ne ye stretchwede ampon yankopon hona wo ka bi owom na wonye hono mboa mesi mo ba ya obotum wasan so egina hon nandu biem
very omo kind de omo ye ba de na yisu no ya abawa ketua bia na oka ho ona ne de ni serious o mabatam na fira de ne kokwale ono kwani ni pa me fa se de ne emergency angasa omo kind de me fa se ye kakra ne me fa se ni pa 5 ka ho be mi ba bi anka ku omo so na me na me gina ho twa me no
yes some pa
ayekwe tie ye hwana won ka edwe ne mu bi na wazo hwan nsam bi atugwa
Ewesiafo yemfansi wasare hosemi eso yentunsim ewa pomudine mo ense Mahama Cares eye nhyehyaya Ghana mampani eba ena ode ba ya ode ebe boa sikason na wo matumi di aboa yara hodo a esoso na eye adehye sikasua na kwakoye adeso e wonom eso no ankasede na ketua bi etumu ehyase e masoafo bi di omudie bi eka ho eno nam so e masoafo hwaya kwan ne akwantempon eso yera kwami agboja wono so asa kyerese de ekeka koyi de say Jumadie no ebo pay nto osanso de nse sinebo aka say eye bosome miensa aketua no osanso edi piso edi aboa se ne be ya mampani ni so ade hunu no ebe
Your Excellency, I'm going to make a general and a very passionate appeal to all our contractors. I wish, for the sake of me and President Mahama and the Health Minister, the cardio center that you promised the people of Volta region, I wish that my contractors would step forward and say, we will contribute and build this on our own. Mr. President, it's just $15 million. Members of Parliament and Ministers of State have committed our salary to that. Today, Mr. President, I'll commit 3 months more of my total salary to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. I will not threaten any contractor that if you don't contribute to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, I have no power to...
so for where ya kwane ya kwantempon ho nsensem enso yewura Kwame Agboja governs.
Enti aha ena yezi hene abadaye kase ni na bebesi ni na kase batan abadaye kase ni na ya azokro ni ha ena yezi bebesi ose na yembre no ayembre na yeke de chimako ose na se Cars Estate Ghana Limited ami amezi kase bo ebosomo so ezina mejida ejuma inda osamene
motofa bohema abena foku yeboye sore so na jumedi aka atwa so